Hey friends, it's Shereé, and today I'm going to be showing you how I fold and store my fabric. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're a returning person, thank you so much for your continued support. All right, let's get into it. I have had so many friends request that I film how I fold and store my fabric, and I am so sorry that it has taken me so long to film this video, but I'm doing it for you today, and I hope you find it helpful. Information about where I purchased the materials that I use to fold my fabric will be listed in the information section down below. And for this video, I actually folded the fabric up at my DreamBox so that you could see what that process looks like. And then also I will be sharing with you how I store all my fabric that I have on display in my DreamBox, and it's gonna blow your mind when you see how much fabric is actually stored in these two cubed areas that I have created. Now my DreamBox has 40 inview totes. You can get a full set of inview totes, or you can get 40, which is half, and that's perfect for me because it allows me to store my fabric as well as some other things in my DreamBox that I love having on display. And so that is what I'm utilizing here. I also use cubed systems. You can buy them at IKEA, Target, Amazon. But I have both the storage cubes that holds the 10 by 10 cubes, as well as the systems that hold the 13 by 13 cubes to store my fabric, and I put them in foldable storage bins. So I will show you what the smaller of those bins looks like so that you can get an idea on how much fabric you can actually store in a tiny cube. So I hope that helps you. And also I want to drop a note about the fact that Create Room is having a Valentine's Day sale. If you've been interested in purchasing a DreamBox, a dream cart, a sewing station, a Cubby system, they have so many wonderful deals going on right now, and you can save up to $800. I believe that's right. It says you can save up to $800. And so this sale is super important. If you are absolutely certain you want to purchase any of these items and you want to save some money, now is the time to do it. You can save $100 off your DreamBox, $100 off the crown. You can save $200 off of the pre-build, and up to $300 off sidekick options. And so you can get $50 off of a Cubby, you can get $50 off of the dream cart, you can get $100 off of both side tables. $100 off is huge, let me tell you, okay? You can get 65 plus in additional savings on the accessories for the DreamBox Studio, and the first 75 DreamBox to be ordered will actually ship within a month. So that's really key. Sometimes when you order a DreamBox, they have so many orders that it takes a bit of time to receive your DreamBox. I've heard people even wait up to a few months to receive their DreamBox. So the first 75 orders receiving their DreamBox within a month is really great. These are custom built, so you do have different options for upgrades and making it look the way that you want. So it does take time for them to build it and ship it to you. All right, and also I want to mention that there's a 0 APR financing option that you can get the DreamBox for as low as $58.30 per month. And I think that's really great for anyone who is going to purchase one but can't afford to buy it flat out outright and they want to make monthly payments on it. $58 a month is just a drop in the bucket. All right, so that's what's happening with the Valentine's Day sale. I hope you're able to take advantage if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine. But if you do, please do use my discount codes below. That is how you will save money on all of your purchases, and it also helps my channel out. So let's get into how I fold this fabric. I hope you find it extremely helpful. I'm going to show you how I use these comic book boards in order to fold my fabric neatly and store it both in cubes as well as in my DreamBox. I've had several friends ask me to show how I fold my fabric so neatly, so today I'm going to take the opportunity to share that information with you. Now these were purchased on Amazon. It's a pack of 100. They're fairly inexpensive. If I can find them, I will insert a link below for you to be able to purchase your own. And this first cut of fabric that I'll be using to demonstrate how I fold the fabric is actually a polyester spandex. It's very soft. It's not the thickest fabric, so I think it'll be a good example of what folding a knit fabric could be, like a jersey knit. This particular fabric is really gorgeous. It is a part of the Black History Month collection at Joann's, and I'm folding at my DreamBox right now. This cut of fabric is actually 4 yards long, so I have a couple of extending tables at the end, which you probably won't be able to see at this angle, but I will show you the length so that you can see what that looks like. This is the setup for how I was able to fold the fabric on my DreamBox. As you can see, I have the regular table that comes with the DreamBox here. I purchased the additional side table, that's this long table here, and then I have 2 pop-up tables that I use for different crafting activities on the end there, and that's how I was able to capture how I fold 3+ yards of fabric. But I lay the fabric out usually on the floor, but for the purpose of filming this video, I have put it up on the DreamBox. Okay, so the first thing that I like to do is I will take the long folded edge here and bring it halfway into the middle, just like that, and I'll have to walk over to the end of the table so that I can do the other end of the fabric. I folded 1/3 of the way into the width of the fabric. And I believe that this fabric is 58 inches wide. So that's what it looks like. And now I'll take this other side with the raw edge and I'll pull it over this way. And I'm going to take one of these comic book boards so that I can see the measurement of it. And I'm going to see how well it fits directly in the middle of this. I really want it to line up edge to edge, so I'm going to pull this side over a bit more and see if that fits nicely. I do want to keep this raw edge on the inside though. I don't want it to hang off the edge of the folded part. So this is what it looks like now. There's just a tiny bit of overhang on each side, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure that this is folded over all the way down to the full length of the fabric. So now that it's folded down the same length as this comic book board, I'm going to fold it down here, and I'm going to take this raw edge here and I'm just going to roll it over, and I'm going to pull my fabric and fold it over again and fold it over and fold it over until I get to the end of the fabric. I go slowly as possible so that I can readjust if I need to, because as I mentioned, I don't want this cardboard to peek through on the end, but I also don't want a thick, fat piece of fabric to be left on the edges. I want it to be as perfectly even as possible. And again, this is 4 yards. Okay, so now we're towards the end and we have this bit here. This bit uneven because of the way that it was cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to flip this back one time. I'm going to fold this uneven edge on the inside there, and then that way when I fold it over, it'll be tucked inside. So this is what it looks like. Now, in a perfect world, I would have some extra pins so I can show you how I pin the fabric close together. But if you have a safety pin or any pin in general, you can tack this down together so that it doesn't separate. But I have found that it depends on how you're storing it. If you're storing it in a cube and you slide them in just like this, it won't unfold. So it stays pretty much together. I'll show you what that looks like. I actually can show you how I store it in a cube as well as how I store it in my DreamBox. But this is that first cut of fabric. Again, this is a polyester spandex. It had a nice thickness to it, and it was 4 yards, and now it's just this cute little perfect bundle. Let me show you what one of my cube storage systems looks like with fabric in it. So this is a small storage container. This particular container, I want to say, is a 10 by 10. But even at a 10 by 10, you see here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 folds of fabric, and all of these are 4 yards long. So it holds a lot of fabric in here, even though it is only a 10 by 10 cube. So you can imagine it would be very easy to stick now this bundle into a storage system like this. I also have storage systems that are 13 by 13, and obviously those I can stick a lot more bundles in, but in this one, this is what I have going on. So this is what I'll show you for this one. Just use your imagination for what my 13 by 13 will look like, but that one stores much more fabric. Okay, let's fold another cut of fabric, maybe a cotton, so that you can see the difference between a regular cotton bundle and also a spandex bundle. Okay, now let's see what a cotton piece of fabric will fold like. And this is another piece of fabric from the Joann's Black History Month collection. The last piece that I showed you was a 58 to 60 inch width of fabric. This one is 44, and as you can see, because it's cotton, it's much thinner, which means once I'm done folding it, it will fold down much smaller. And for this thickness, just like the other one, I would use 1 comic book board, whereas if it was thicker, like corduroy or denim, I would use 2. So let me show you what this looks like. So just like with the other process, I'm going to take this edge, this raw edge, I'm going to fold it to the inside all the way down the length of the fabric. And now the side with the folded edge I'm going to bring over this way, and I'm actually going to line it up with my comic book board again. As you can see, because it's not as wide of a cut of fabric, I don't have to fold it in as much. So I'm going to take it about right here so that it is close to meeting the size of this comic book board. Just like that. As you can see, there's a little bit hanging off on each side, which is exactly what I want. I'm going to go ahead and continue to fold this side of the fabric over to the center all the way down the length of the fabric. Okay, so now you can see both sides are folded in, and the nice thing about this is that the raw edges is enclosed in the middle of the fold. So now I'm going to fold it down the length of the fabric. So I'm lining it up with the edge here where the fabric was cut, folding it in the full length of the cardboard, and again I'll just keep folding it over and over, and if there are any little straggly pieces, I just either clip them or tuck them inside, and I go down the full length of the fabric. Okay, so now we're at the end again, and what we're going to do is we are going to fold this in so that the raw edge is enclosed inside the fold, and just close it up. And there we have it, another perfectly nice folded piece of fabric, which is 3 yards. Now, let me show you the difference in thickness between the two. This is an organic cotton sweatshirt fabric, and it is from fabric.com. It is slightly thicker than the jersey fabric that I folded before. It's not the most thick sweatshirt fleece, but this here is perfect for a project that I have coming up. And what I'm going to do, since it is thicker than the jersey knit, is use 2 of these comic book boards together. And again, I'm going to take this raw edge and I'm going to fold it in, right, all the way the full length of the fabric. I didn't mention, but this is a 60-inch width fabric and it is 3 yards. Okay, so now I'm going to take this comic book board and I'm going to set it here so that I can measure how far in this should fold. And I'm going to take that folded edge here and I'm going to line it up to about the same width all the way down the length of the fabric. And just like the other cuts of fabric, I'm going to make sure just a tiny bit of the fabric peeks out over each end of the comic board. Okay, so now I'm going to take those 2 comic book boards and I'm going to line it up on the edge here. And I'm just going to fold and continue to fold all the way down to the end of the fabric cut. And every time I fold it over, I smooth it out and I make sure that it still lines up on the edges. And if it doesn't, I just tug on it a little bit so that the edges meet up. And there you have it. That is my bundle of 3 yards of sweatshirt fleece. Now let's see what this looks like compared to the other 2 bundles. So we have, oopsie. See, this is why if you have pins to pin this together, it's a nice option. So we have here the sweatshirt fleece, the jersey knit, and the cotton. And this is how it looks when you fold them up. Still a very nice, neat stack. Nice and smooth. Doesn't take up much space at all. And now I will give you a close-up of how much fabric I have stored in 2 sections of my DreamBox. I'm going to show you how I store fabric in my DreamBox. Now I have 40 inview totes, which is great. That is a half order. And the reason why I like it so much is that I'm able to customize it in a way that allows me to store things that are not in totes. One thing that is important for me to store and display in my DreamBox is fabric. And so here I have actually created these cubes. It's about 14.5 this way by 13 this way. And I'm going to show you exactly how much fabric I have stored on each side of my DreamBox. It's gonna blow your mind when you see how much fabric I have packed in here. So a lot of these fabrics are different types of fabric. We have wovens, we have knits, we have all kinds of things, and they're different drapiness. If you watched the full length video, then you saw how I fold my fabric. They're all pretty much folded the same way. The only instance in which it's not folded with a comic book board is when I have not unraveled an African wax print fabric, because they just fold up so nicely and stay nice until you wash them. So they don't have comic book boards in the middle of them. But this right here is a really drapey fabric that has been folded really nicely. And this right here is 4 yards. I have this fabric here, which is so dreamy. It is a knit fabric. And as you can see, because it is a softer fabric, it is a little bit more wobbly. So we have this, and this is 3 yards. I have a big bundle of corduroy, which is 3 yards as well. So you can see how full that is, and it has the comic book board in the middle. I have some double gauze here, which is 4 yards. I have all of these are a different type of cotton lawn, poplin, and rayon challis. There is 1, 2, 3, 4. I have a cut of linen that is 4 yards long. I have a cut of Japanese cross-stitch fabric that is 3 yards long. I have a small cut of 1 yard cotton voile. And then I have this beautiful athletic fabric. It's a knit fabric, and this is 3 yards long. I have a gorgeous double brush poly, and this is also 3 yards long. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 bundles of fabric here, all ranging from 3 yards to 4 yards. I only had one that was 1 yard, and it's actually rolled because it's so tiny, that fit in this cube here. Some people who don't collect fabric, that might be all the storage you need, okay? You have a number of projects right here. All my fabric is safely put away and protected from the sun because the majority of the time I have this door closed during the day, so it doesn't get any sunlight. Protected, and when I want to look at it, it's open and it's on display, and it encourages me to get sewing, okay? So this is one side, okay? I'm going to put this back, and then I'll take you over to the other side where I have more fabric stored, and those fabrics I believe are all cottons. And there you have it. That's all of those 13 fabrics stored in this wonderful cube that I've created. Okay, let's go over to the other side so that you can see what it looks like and how much fabric I have stored over there, and I have a feeling it's going to blow your mind. Okay, we are on the other side of my DreamBox now, and I'm going to show you what I have stored on this side. Now, this is a cut of fabric that I just showed how to fold, and again, this is 4 yards of a polyester knit. Now we have an African wax print bundle, and this is 6 yards. They fold up so nice in there, and actually for this one, no, I didn't. I did not include a comic book board. This is just how it came. I have not washed it yet, so it's still nice and stiff and folded. So I have that. This is 6 yards. This is 3 yards of cotton fabric. This is 3 yards of linen fabric. This is 3 yards of cotton fabric, and this is from the Joann's Black History Month collection. This is 3 yards of fabric. 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 This is also 3 yards of fabric. This is 4 yards of fabric, and this is a really beautiful fabric that I've been wanting to use. I'm saving it for a special project. Okay, now we're going to get into some more African wax print fabrics. This is 6 yards of fabric. This is 6 yards of fabric. This is 6 yards of fabric. This is 6 yards of fabric, okay? So in this side of the DreamBox, I told you it was gonna be mind-blowing, but I bet you didn't believe me when I told you it would be. I'm gonna tell you exactly the grand total of how much fabric I had stored in this section right here. This is a total of 65 yards of fabric that I store right in this small section right here. Isn't that incredible? Voila, there you have it. This is 65 yards of fabric. I hope you enjoyed seeing how I fold and store my fabric. If you enjoyed this video, please do give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel. I truly appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.